Hello and welcome. I'm Joanne, your WSET educator, and in this video we're going to discuss key points from your specification, how best to prepare for your exam, and how many hours you'll need to study. We'll also cover how many points on the exam are allotted to each section of the book so you'll know where to concentrate your time. And we'll discuss the exam format. Finally, we'll cover how WSET assesses grades and provide examples of tools outside of WSET to help you master the information. So WSET recommends 11 hours of at-home study time to prepare for your Level 2 exam. Now, many of my students report that they need more time for that. So I'm going to say maybe put aside 16 hours in your schedule to read and study. So that's why tip number 2 is quickly run through chapters 1 to 5 and save the bulk of your time for diving deep into chapters 6 to 23. So now let's go over some important information from the specification. And if you haven't read it yet, you should. Granted, it's kind of a boring read, but it does give you a lot of important information. It lists every term that you could be tested on and everything it's going to cover. So after reading a chapter in your book, flip over to read the specification to see what are the important terms and concepts that you need to know for your exam. And note that many examinable terms are often those highlighted in bold text throughout your wines looking behind the label book. And if you are taking this course online, the specification guide is in Canvas, but I'll also leave a downloadable link for you in the next lesson, or lesson number 1, so that you can view it here. Now, if you're watching this video, you already have a huge advantage because obviously most of the terms in the specification are in the quizzes in this ultimate guide. Now let's discuss the exam format for your WSET Level 2 in Wines exam. Okay, so it's exam day. You'll have 1 hour to complete 50 multiple choice questions. Most people finish well under that, so it's lots of time to complete your exam. But as it's multiple choice, WSET insists that students obtain a minimum grade of 55% in order to pass. So 50% is not going to get you a certificate. Instead, if you get less than 55%, unfortunately, that's a fail grade. But if that's the case, and hey, it happens, speak with your approved program provider and they can discuss options with you to retake your exam at a later date. Now, there are some other grade designations that WSET uses. And so if you get between 70% to 84%, you get a merit. And finally, if you score between 85% to 100%, well, that's a distinction grade. And I'm telling you, if you follow the instructions in this ultimate guide, you will be getting that coveted distinction grade. Here's a page that puts together some of the information from the specification. So here on the left column, we have the learning outcomes for the exam. In the middle column, this discusses the chapters or topics that cover the learning outcomes. And finally, in the third final column, we see how many points or questions on the exam are allotted to that outcome. So you can see that's why earlier I said to concentrate your studies hours on chapters 6 to 23. These cover the grapes, wines, and regions. So get your plan now on how you're going to study. Visual aids such as scribbling information on maps or referencing wine videos, making mind maps or spreadsheets, you can use all of these to help you. So for example, the textbook will organize the information by grape variety. Maybe you could take out a map of France and start writing the grape varieties and the regions on there. With this guide, it is all in your reach. So pop a cork and let's get sipping, shall we? I'll see you in lesson 1 on how to taste and evaluate wine.